For most car guys, the call of the open road is undeniable. You and your machine, and the world laid out in front of you, waiting to say hello. And there's no better way to see the United States of America. I've always wanted to take a road trip across the country, and this year, I finally did it. For 3 weeks in the months of May and June, I struck out across the country in the GTO. In this episode, I am westbound and down as I travel along the US-Mexico border, stopping in Yuma for the night before arriving in the big city of Los Angeles, California. My name is Josh Harrell. I host Josh's Car Corner, and this is my road trip. Alright, status report. I am in Arizona. I am off the interstate now, and I am heading down Arizona Highway 80 to Tombstone, 22 miles away. It's about quarter to noon, so I should be there probably about quarter after noon, figuring parking and all that stuff. So that should be exciting. Temperature's definitely gone up, probably at least 15 degrees, down to 3,500 feet now, or thereabouts. I don't know what to expect when I get to Tombstone. There were a couple of billboards, and they had a picture on the sign of a Wyatt Earp-like character. It wasn't the Kurt Russell Wyatt Earp, but it was someone that looked very, very similar. So I'm excited. I can't wait to see what's going on there. I just hope they have food. I forgot about the time change, and that I'm used to 12:45, and I'm kind of hungry. I wish I would have stopped and got something now, but it's a little late till I get to Tombstone. So hopefully they got something. Okay, I just entered the Tombstone city limits. I'm climbing a hill which should ultimately drop me into the valley that is Tombstone. So this should be exciting. Apparently I'm going to have to go through another border patrol as I leave Tombstone. There was one that was, we're going northbound, back up 80. Well, I just left Tombstone. There was some interesting stuff there. It wasn't as modern as I thought. That whole Allen Street, the original street, I mean, they had modern businesses and all the buildings and everything. But, and there's other things I could have done. Like, they would have done the gunfight at the OK Corral at some point, and there were tours, and there was a comedy gunfight on one side of town, and whatnot. But I got a lot of pictures, and I got a pretty cool t-shirt that I think my family will like. Got some postcards. I sent a first postcard to Ethan. I got some more to send him from different postmarks. And then the Border Patrol. I stopped at the Border Patrol, and the guy says to me, "How you doing today?" And I say, "Fine." And he looks in the back, he looks in the front, and he says, "Have a nice day." I'm like, I was a bit shocked, because I thought he'd at least ask me if I'm a U.S. citizen or anything. So I don't know what it is about me or the car that I just look completely not like a drug runner or a drug smuggler, or the car doesn't look like a drug smuggling car. So there's a tip. You want to smuggle some drugs, get a GTO, because apparently it is nondescript to a Border Patrol officer. Go figure. Anyway, I'm on my way back up to the interstate now, and then I got about 50 miles to Tucson, and then I'll head northwest from there. And then I got a choice. I can either take I-10 through Phoenix, or I can take I-8 towards San Diego. And when I take I-8, it looks like it's going to be quite a bit of desolation until I get to California. So the only reason I guess I'd go that way is if I intended to get in within California today. If I decide otherwise, if I decide I don't want to get to California today, then I can take I-10, and then I'll be that whole Phoenix suburb area, and then there's places to stay and probably stuff to do, and probably a lot of some GTO guys there I can hang up with. So figure out what's going on. Okay, well, I made the decision. I didn't go to Phoenix. I decided to take this Interstate 8 around Phoenix to the south, which goes to Yuma and eventually San Diego. It's weird because it is pretty much barren and desolate. There's hardly any cars on the road. I really don't see where a cop could sit. And it's absolutely flat and straight. So the temptation is just to put the hammer down and absolutely go for it. But I don't. It's weird. The sensible gene has kicked in. Maybe 10 years ago I would have floored it just to see what I could do by now, but I I haven't done it. So I don't know. I don't know how big a town Yuma is. So I'll think about stopping there based on the size. Otherwise, I might continue and get into California tonight. I don't really know. It's 4:15 right now, so I mean, I've got time to decide. And Yuma will happen probably by 7 o'clock thereabouts. I've got plenty of fuel to get there. I mean, if I'm careful, I've probably got enough fuel to get all the way to San Diego. Should be a lot more to do and see there as opposed to out here, which is pretty much just desert. And the cacti, it's kind of sad. All the cacti by the road are just dead. They've got maybe have a little bit of green on the top or a little bit of green on some of the arms, but the bases are all completely brown and dead and falling apart, and it's amazing that they're not tipping over. So I guess the drought's been very hard on the cacti out here, and most of them are dead or dying, which is sad. Out here on this stretch of interstate, on this Interstate 8, it's just desert. It's completely devoid of anything, and it's just barren and pointless. Although the altitude has now dropped. I'm down to 400 feet, and that's lower than I'd be back home. So I have never been this low before, so that's a new one. Another thing I was talking about is these trains, and you see one right here. It is amazing to me, some of these trains, because this section of rail right here that I see next to the interstate has got some of the biggest trains I have ever seen. I kid you not. There was one that literally was more than a mile. It was probably a mile and a half. It had 3 locomotives at the front. It had 2 at the rear pushing. And I stopped counting cars at 167. It's just, I could not believe how big that train was. And then you've got sidings that these huge trains are pulling off into, so more mile-long trains can go past them. There was a section of 10 miles there where I saw 3 trains in the siding, and the cars, they weren't all one train, but there were just 2.5 miles of cars. And it's these shipping containers that you come overseas from that go on these boats, and they're stacked too high, and car after car after car. I mean, it makes sense because the Port of Long Beach is where all of our shipping goods come in from Asia and the eastern countries. So it makes sense that they're all coming out of Long Beach and coming across the country on these rail lines. But just to see the scale of it is just incredible. I cannot believe how big those trains are, and how much commerce is actually going on these 2 tracks just across the way from me. It is amazing to think about. I think I'm no more than 60 miles from Yuma. I don't know if I'll stop there. What I will probably do is I will stop there, and I will look at the hotel situation, see what's around, and if there's another city into California, maybe I'll press on a little bit, but I'll stop there and at least look at hotels.com and look at Google and see where I'm at, and see if I want to try to go any farther today. Well, it's day 9. I was trying to think of something to do today because I really didn't want to go to San Diego. So what I've come up with is I am going to follow in the footsteps of Top Gear. They were down this way last year. They brought a Lexus LFA, a Dodge Viper, and the new Aston Martin Vanquish, and they had a race from Palm Springs to the border in Calexico. Mexicali is this other town opposite the border on the Mexican side. So they raced down here. So what I thought I would do is, I've got a couple of things I'm going to do. One, I'm going to find the border that where Hammond crossed. 2, I'm going to take the eastern road upbeat by the Salton Sea that Jeremy took, because he said it was the most beautiful road he's ever driven on. That could be an exaggeration. It is Jeremy after all. But I'm going to drive it anyway. And then once I get to Palm Springs, I'm going to have to decide if I can find, or if I want to go to Los Angeles or somewhere around Los Angeles for the day, or if I want to just kind of hide out and avoid Los Angeles for another day. I haven't decided yet, but that's what's going on today. I just pulled onto the 8, another huge train, and I'm going to be very close to the border here pretty soon, and I'm hoping I can see the border fence so I can just say that's Mexico, that's the U.S. But If I don't see it, I'll probably see it once I get to Calexico because I'm going to find that border. So that's what's up for today. Okay, I have seen border fence. There are some hills just to the south of me here, and you can see that this black line running across the hills in a couple of different places. That's the border fence. I wasn't sure I'd actually see one, but apparently there is one, so there you go. Across those hills over there is Mexico. And those hills are a heck of a lot more sandy than our hills to the north, where that's mountains over there. That's just sandy hills over there. How does it know to change? It's amazing the difference. I don't understand it, but so that's it. If you wanted to cross into America, that's what you've got to get around. So El Centro is about 45 miles away. I also had to go through another border patrol crossing. This one was the shortest of all. I coasted up to the gate at 5 miles an hour, and the guy inside just went, didn't say a thing, didn't even check. What the hell's the point? What the hell's the point if you're not even going to at least stop somebody and ask? Why even have the gate? Go figure. There's your taxpayer dollars at work. Okay, major update. I'm driving along, and I was starting to see the fence. I am 100 yards from the border fence right now, so I was shooting photo of it, and a CHP guy passed me, because I was driving through these sandy dunes and I wanted to film it, but I didn't want to get done for filming while driving, so I waited for him to get past and started filming. Now I just came around a bend, and he was pulled over on the side of the road, and he was walking toward a guy that was disheveled, had a long white beard, and just shoddy, rotty t-shirt and things, and he looked Mexican. And I have a feeling he just caught somebody that got across the border somehow. So he's walked up to the guy and he's talking to him right now, and if he did cross the border, I have a feeling he's going back. But he was just walking along, kind of hiding in the shrubs, and the guy spotted him. So that was pretty interesting. I don't know if he was from Mexico. I can't claim that, but it would be interesting if he was, and somebody actually thought they could get across. But very cool. Okay, I have just come into Calexico, and it said the elevation was 1, and that must be spot on because I'm looking at my GPS right now, and it actually says that I am 17 feet below sea level. So this is the lowest altitude I have ever been. 18 feet. Well, it just keeps getting lower. So eat your heart out, Joe. This is density altitude for you. So I'm now driving into Calexico, and I'm going to start looking around for the border crossing. So hopefully I find it here before too long. I think the key's just going to be to head south, and eventually I should run into it, but I just got to find the right road to go south on. Looks like a nice little town. Let's see, Blair Avenue. No, I need something bigger than that. 21 feet below sea level. Junction 111. Okay, so this is the road. Here's 111, so this is the road I'm going to end up taking up to the Salton Sea. So it's also a big road that goes south, so I'm going to go that way. And hopefully that'll take me to the in-town border crossing. There was a border crossing to the east of town, and I almost got on it until it said last U.S. exit, and I'm like, oh, no, because I don't want to go into Mexico. I couldn't go in anyway. I don't have a passport. Actually, if I had a passport, it might be fun to just drive into Mexico to say I was there, but yeah, don't have one. One thing since coming into California is the palm trees are now everywhere. But just like the trees in Arizona, they look like they're a bit dried out. They're not dead, but they don't look well. I distinctly remember the Top Gear guys, when they were driving through, they filmed a Burger King sign that said, try our new Angry Whopper. So there is a Burger King in town that must be along the route that you have to take. Alright, now heading south. Wow, that is the fanciest AutoZone sign I have ever seen. I'll have to get a picture of that. Okay, so we're heading south. Casa de Cambio, Cash House. Suddenly my Spanish is starting to come back to me here a little bit. There's the Burger King. Okay. So I must be on the right track. Oh, I think I found it. I think I see it. There's a sign up ahead of me that says International Border, Mexicali. I think I have found it. No, this is where they stopped. They just came down the other way. Yep, this is it. This is it. This is where the Top Gear guys stopped. They came down, they must have shut down this part of the road, and they came down it the other way. So they all parked on it facing this way. And that's the border, right there. That's where Hammond had the long, sad walk. I'll have to get a couple more pictures here, but all right, I've achieved the first goal. I found the border. So there you go, where Top Gear stopped. Now I'm gonna go up the road, Highway 111 to the Salton Sea, and drive the road that Jeremy said was the greatest road he's ever been on. Again, I'm sure an exaggeration, but we'll see how good it is. Okay, I'm in Brawley, California. I just filled up with gas again. The prepaid cards are now gone. So any gas I now buy from this point out is going to be on me, or if I want to draw from my emergency cash. Coming up to 110, I missed it somehow and ended up on 86, which is the road that James and Richard took to get down to Calexico. So I turned around, came back into Brawley, got gas. Now I'm going to go up the 110, which is the road that Jeremy took, which is supposed to be a really nice road. So we shall find out. Well, over my shoulder is the Salton Sea. I don't know why it's particularly called a sea, but we're about 200 feet below sea level right now. It smells like a lake. It looks like a lake. I'd say it's about the size of Lake Winnebago. I'm not sure how deep it is. It might not be very deep at all, but it's a proper lake. This shoreline here is in a town called Bombay Beach, and it looks like there used to be a lot of concrete buildings around, but they're all tore down. It looks like there used to be a pier. That's all tore down. The town is it's a dump of a town, and the buildings are abandoned, and homes that are here are shoddy or they're trailers. So it's not much to look at in the little town. And the beach isn't that much to look at either, but I think this is about as close as you can get to the lake from this road. So I thought it'd be worth a good look around, and it's a cool lake, and it's cool to be this far below sea level, 200 feet below sea level. I knew it existed. I didn't think I was going to get to 200 feet below sea level on this trip, so that's exciting. It is time to move on, so off we go. Okay, I'm off the 111 now. I just drove through the city of Indio, and I'm just pulling on to I-10 toward LA. Apparently I'm about 120 miles from the center of Los Angeles, so I should start seeing the outlying communities within under an hour. But I don't have the GPS set for Los Angeles right now. No. One thing crossed my mind, and I was curious how close I was to it, and it turns out I'm not too far from it at all, and that thing is Willow Springs Raceway. So I think I'm going to go there, and I'm going to see if it's open for one, and if it's not, if they would let me just do one driving lap around the track just to see what the track is like. They probably won't, but it doesn't hurt to ask, so I think I'm going to go over there and try it and see if I can do it. The Coachella Valley is something else I just drove through. I know I've heard that name in movies before. I don't really know what it is. All I know is that as I was coming up 110, I started driving by a lot of vegetable farms. Peppers were there. I drove through a melon farm in that little town where I got gas. That all you could smell the melons. He was pulling them out of the ground with a tractor as I drove by. And what else was going on? Oh yeah, there were trucks full of sweet corn everywhere. So yeah, just crazy to see where a lot of the produce that we get back in Wisconsin is coming from down here, and actually see it coming out of the ground is pretty cool. So just on the 10, it's only 3 lanes right now. I'm sure that'll get bigger. But we're just making tracks west, and I can see a mountain in front of me. I'm now above sea level. I'm at 133 feet and climbing. So being below sea level is done and over with. And everyone's driving pretty reasonable speed right now. With the speed limit of 70, I'm only going 63, so no maniacs yet, but I'm sure that'll change. Okay, this is extraordinary. I am at Willow Springs Raceway right now. I wasn't even sure if the track could be open. I wasn't sure if I would be able to get in. I walked through the gate. The guy said, yeah, go in, take all the pictures you want. And they said, do you want to get on the track? And I said, sure, if I can. He said, okay, well, there's testers on the track right now. I'm not letting you on the track right now, but after 5, come back and see me, and we'll get you on the track. So that is unreal. So, I mean, I'm not going to try to set any world records. I'll probably baby around, but I set cameras up front and rear, so I will go around Willow Springs and I'll have footage of it, and that'll be fantastic. So I'm going to walk around and take some pictures until 5, but then I'm going around Willow Springs, baby! Yeah! Okay, so this is me going on to Willow Springs. The only thing he said is keep it under 55. Okay. Because I didn't even ask to go on the track. So, absolutely. I'm just going to stop here and blow the horn to sync all the cameras up. Okay, here we go. Pulling off the pit road. Good racer, make sure nothing's coming, even though I know the track is empty. All right, into 4th. Here we go. Keep it under 55. All right, that was first corner. This is second corner. This is like carousel back at home on Road America. Although it looks like it gets tighter in the middle. Boy, I don't know where do you apex this thing? Well, I guess you run out here. Okay, and then this is turn 3. Wow, do you climb? All right. It's wobbling around a lot. This is coming into turn 4. Wow, you've got to be careful. Wow, and then this is tight here. Go. Oh, there it goes. Wow. Okay, think. You want straight lines. Straight lines. You want to come straight into your braking zone. Looks like it's a double apex, so yep, you come out here and then you come back in. Wow, this track could take a while to learn. The nice thing is you've got a lot of runoff area. Alright, into 5th, calmly going down the straight. downshift. Come in here. Your apex should be that cone. Yes. Turn in. I'm going to aim for that yellow thing way back there. Brake. Turn in. I'm going to aim right for that cone. Oh, they set out a cone, so that's apex. They should run out here. There's your next apex. Apex they're a little late. Oh, that gets tight. That's a tricky one. That's not where you think. All right, one more. Turn in. Off and up. Oh, that's very good. That's good. Now let it run. Fade out, fade out, fade out. Ooh, that was tight. All right. Brake, downshift. There, that's better. Now you get into this corner better. Turn sharp. Turn there. And then turn in. This section here is a tire chewer. This is a long, fast corner. I would turn in now. There you go. 3 laps of Willow Springs. That was awesome. That was more than I asked for. Wow, that'd be a hard track to learn. That would be a hard track to learn. It's got such tight sections. I mean, the nice thing is if you screw up, you've got runoff in the dirt, but man, oh man, you're gonna have to really concentrate on your exit points and your entry points to get set up right to get around there quickly. Oh, well, I hope that camera didn't shake around too much. That was totally worth the trip right there. That was totally worth the trip up here today.